All right, welcome to Straight Red Card. This is the USA versus Canada review show. If I don't sound thrilled, excuse me, because I'm not thrilled. And this is exactly what we were talking about before, Brett. We're going to come away at best now with 5 points, and at worst, 2, and in the middle somewhere, 3. I mean, we got to tie Honduras to get that to the 3. If we beat them, we get the 5. But boy, I mean, this is not how we wanted this. It's not panic time. I'm already getting people who are sending me messages on Facebook saying, I don't think Team USA is going to the World Cup this year. Well, first of all, the World Cup's not this year. It's 2022. But it's
nitpicking, Derek.
It is nitpicking, and I love the guy who sent me the message. We've been communicating for years. So I'm not trying to be a dick here. Actually, I probably was a dick. I'm just saying I don't think it's time to panic, but it is time to be concerned. I think concern would be the word I would use after that game.
Yeah, I mean, leading up to that game, let's take a look at Gold Cup and Nations League and all the stuff leading up to it. Everything was a grind. Everything was not necessarily sloppy, but we didn't create a ton of chances. And now we're coming into the World Cup qualifying, and once again, we're just not creating a lot of chances. We've got opportunities that pop up, but man, once we get into that final third, we don't create.
It just also seems like, there are those games where you're on the offense enough to get some sort of accident or mistake from the opponent where you get an easy goal. And I don't know if I would call the goal we got tonight an easy goal, because that still had to be a really good cross from Robinson.
Well, not only that, but the pressure by Aronson initially to get dispossessed, the movement of the ball quick around the pace. It was a nice goal, and Aronson's follow through of the play. I'm going to chalk that up as a nice team goal.
Yes, but what my point is we put enough pressure on. I mean, that guy Kennedy from Canada could have scored 2 own goals tonight.
Yeah.
And seriously, he could have. And frankly, the first one that Aronson laid off that cross, I mean, that guy put in a great shot for us.
That was an upper 90s. That's better than most. No, that's better than any shot we took today.
I know. I'm just saying, in World Cup qualifying, it seems like the goals, because the other guy is a fucking idiot, dry up. We're not getting any of those. We're not getting any lucky shit. So if that's going to be the case, we're just going to have to find a solution.
Well, yeah, and this stems down to one of 2 things for me. We simply just don't have the creativity coming out of the midfield, and that doesn't really. I'm not even stating the players today. Leggett and Acosta I thought they did fine throughout most of the game, but again, the creativity moving forward with it just wasn't necessarily there. But again, it wasn't there when it was Aronson and McKennie playing there either. So, I mean, something's got to change. Something has to happen. We have to have somebody who's going to try to move the ball forward and be creative, take chances. We can't keep relying on Brooks to lay those 40-yard across the field passes, which were spot on 90% of the time.
Well, teams are figuring this out. You will notice, if you replay this game and you hit pause when we have possession, so much of the time, they're just giving us the wings. They're like, yeah, go ahead. And then we're going to wall that off. And if you want to try to beat us, you can try to beat us through the middle. Good luck. Cause we're going to shift very quickly to make sure that can't happen. And so what we are not seeing at all, though, is any major, passes from the right all the way to the left to catch them, right? When they've shifted and they're blocking on one side and they've got the middle pretty good and covered. We're not seeing that long pass out wide to the guy that's standing wide open there. We used to have that on occasion. We would do that, and usually be like Bradley would make that pass in the old days, real old days. We're not seeing that long pass right now. Nobody's willing to make it. I can't count the number of times, especially in the second half. Anthony Robinson was just standing out alone by himself on the left, just like, nobody's going to pass me the ball.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was frustrating to watch. So, I mean,
so
we're predictable, I guess is what I'm saying.
Let's take this for a second, at least. Let's mix it up and take it away from the doom and gloom. I thought this performance was significantly an improvement over the El Salvador match. We were able to string passes, move the ball around. We got into the attack. We created some opportunities. Whether Canada's defense just squashed them or we messed up, it's neither here nor there. But we were moving forward with it. But we weren't. Most of our chances, trying to move forward at least, were just nullified. Like, we just didn't have that final play. Like, we tried to do too much right into the middle of the box. Aronson, I remember the one play in the first half where Aronson just got swarmed by like 5 guys. And now nothing against him on that. He couldn't do anything. His initial pass was deflected. It came back to him. All of a sudden there was like black jerseys all around. So we're not figuring something out. And I think one of the issues we're not figuring out under Berhalter's tenure is the number 9 position. Our players are, whether it's Sargent or Pefok, they're doing fine when they're playing their back to goal, checking back and trying to hold on to it and pass it to the side. But once we get into our offensive third, they are ghosts. Nobody's there creating anything. They rarely get on the ball into the box. And maybe that stems from like Pulisic or Reyna trying to do too much. Now, mind you, Reyna didn't play today by any means, but maybe it's that they just sort of take them out of the equation in the end when they try to cut in and they try to do a little bit more. But the nine is a non-existent position in Berhalter's formations, and I'm not sure if that's tactical or if that's accidental.
It's a lonely position. It really looks like, I know we say we're playing a 4-3-3, but God help me if we don't look like we play a 4-5-1. I mean, that guy is so eyes. If you're playing a true 4-3-3, your center forward shouldn't be like on an island all by himself and lonely. He should have guys zipping by him, crossing in front of him, giving him options behind him. That just doesn't happen with us and our team. Okay, so not to be doom and gloom, were there good moments? There were. I think that many ways we could have come out of here 2 or 3-1 up. Pulisic at the post.
Yep.
But in the end, the result is the result, and we're going to have to live with it. And I think this officially puts us in 4th.
It does.
Which is
one goal for against us.
Which is you got to have to go play a South American 5th place team or something like that. I can't remember how they kept for years. We would have to play the Oceania winner.
2nd place. Oh, winner. Yeah.
Winner. For that spot. I believed it's been shifted to South America for a while, but I don't know what it is now. I'm assuming it's still South America, which I don't want to be in 4th, but I guess it could be worse. I guess, this is going to be a drag out fight to the end. And I mean, that's not surprising, but I think a lot of people were saying 9 points. You were saying 9 points.
I said 7-9. Yes. And let's stand firm. We could have even with how shitty we played against El Salvador, we could have still easily came out with 3 points. We had some opportunities. We didn't finish any of them, or we didn't take them or finish them or whatever. We had opportunities against Canada. We didn't finish them, take them, or whatever. We could have came out with 6 points in these 2 games, hands down. And I don't think El Salvador had all that many chances against us. Canada had a couple chances towards the end where they laid a couple nice crosses across the sticks, but there's nobody following that. But as a whole, they didn't have a whole hell of a lot of chances either. So I think in the grand scheme of things, 9 points is not a ridiculous prediction. It's just our team's just not finishing, not doing it. They're not doing it in the end. And one game they didn't show up, one game they did show up, and it still is the same result.
So then they had this discussion on Fox with Lexi and Stu, and who's the other guy? John something?
Rob Stone?
Rob Stone, yeah. And, both Lexi and Stu were saying, no, Berhalter needs to get in this locker room after this game, and he needs to do some jibber jabbering. He needs to do some ass kicking. He needs to hold people accountable. And of course, Rob's like, no, I think you just need to build them up at this point. No, I do think that Berhalter has to say, listen, there are things we're not doing out here, and if we need to get focused and start doing them. That's if Berhalter has the answer. The question is, does the team, they asked Pulisic after the game, what do you guys need to do different in the next game? Or what could you have done different this game to win? And he just stared into oblivion for like 10 seconds before answering the question. He didn't know what the answer was. And if the players don't know what the answer is, that's not good. That's not good. They need to be able to talk about what the answer is. Now, Aronson was interviewed later and said, well, it was a frustrating game. They just sat back and countered, and it was very frustrating. Well, yeah.
Who?
That's going to happen a lot.
So what you do in those type of situations, instead of trying to dribble it through the middle and take it through the middle all the time, rip a couple shots from outside the 18. Force that keeper to make a save, maybe make a deflection, and then you have opportunities from there on out. But you need to do something different. You just can't keep going the same route. You need to change it up. And why aren't any of our players ripping shots from outside from time to time?
Name one player we have that has a fucking a shotgun for a leg, just a fucking rocket maker we don't have one. Name one.
Place the shot. I don't care. Place it to a corner, make the keeper force the save. Force a fucking save. Or again, force the deflection. Either way. That's
like that late free kick that we got and Pulisic took. Even if that had been on target, there's no way that's going in. It's too slow.
What is up? This entire match, I was so annoyed with our free kicks, whether it's a free penalty kick or was a corner kick. It was just, they were awful. We've got big bodies in the box. You got Peacock, you got Brooks, you got Robinson. Just get the ball in the box. Let something happen. But instead, you're. And I understand these free kicks were within shooting distances, sure. But I think our benefit has a lot of times for decades, and given the players we have on the pitch right now, we've got, like I said, 3, even 4 good bodies in the air right there. Just lob it up don't lob it too high because then the keeper just easily saves it. But get it up in there again. Try something. Force the defense to kick it out for a corner kick, or make them, earn their pay.
Yeah, I mean, we've got one guy, going back to the rocket leg thing, that can do that, and that's Reyna. Reyna has a rocket for a leg, but we don't have a Dempsey. We don't have a Jermaine Jones. We don't have guys with rockets. Well, Altidore has a rocket for a leg that far out. So going back to taking free kicks, that last free kick was a waste by Pulisic.
Yep.
That needs to be lobbed into the middle and let people go up and get it. You got Pfok at 6'2", 6'3". Yeah. You got Brooks at 6'2", 6'3". Throw it in there and let the guy go get it. I mean,
Robinson's an absolute beast in the air. He almost had that chance right in front of the corner kick.
I mean, do we
lob it in there?
And that's the problem, Brett. Too much hero ball. It's too much hero ball. We need, sometimes everybody wants to be the hero. I get it. You want to really, there's a lot of pressure on you to contribute to the team. And so what do? You do too much. Don't do too much. Do the smart thing. And I know with all that adrenaline running through your veins, that's kind of hard to do sometimes. But,
keep it simple, stupid.
You know who said that the other night on one of his shows? Filippo. He said, as my grandfather used to say, keep it simple, stupid. Yep. I'm like, your grandfather's fucking Brazilian. They have that saying, and
I don't think there's anything simple stupid about that.
They have that saying in Brazil. Really, I did not know that. So it was that was news to me. I mean, that's something they say in the army. That's where I got that from. Kiss, which is something my dad said to me many years ago when I was like a wee lad. But yeah, keep it simple sometimes, and other times I see certain players, and I'm not picking on Leggett. But there was a time where we were breaking out of the back and the ball got to Legett's feet. And he had quite a few options in front of him making runs. And he turned around and he kicked it sideways. And I just went, no, what are you doing, dude? We were on the break. We were making a counter and you killed the counter. So there are other times where we're too conservative because of who the player is making the decision. It's almost like he has to, be the counterbalance to everybody else's hero ball. So he's super conservative. And listen, Leggett had some good moments in this game. I'm not busting his balls. I'm just saying that was one of those moments where there was an opportunity.
I think that, and that's the key. And quite frankly, a lot of our criticism to players like Roldan or Leggett in that matter are not necessarily that they can't compete and they can't do well. I mean, Leggett had that nice turn that laid it off to Aronson that Pulisic hit the cross, the sidebar.
Yep.
That was one really good play. And then there was the other play where he had the side volley, which was still a really nice shot attempt. It went wide, of course, but it was still there and it was still a good look. There were sometimes he moved the ball forward, but again, more often than not, he turned and played it safe, played it back. And that was a lot of the gameplay. And I was talking about this with a friend of mine that was who's over here watching the game with me. It's like sometimes you start noticing that the team does what Chelsea does. They start on the right hand side, they turn, they pass it back, and they pass it around to the left side, and then the left side they turn around, they pass it back, pass it around, and so forth. And it's just like they maintain 70% of the possession, but they don't do anything with it. Yeah. So I mean, again, when we back on Leggett. It's not just because he had a bad game. And he didn't have a bad game. I don't think he had a bad game at all.
No.
But again, there was just too many opportunities that instead of looking up, finding that man moving forward, making that diagonal run, he played it safe. And a lot of our players did that too. But it's noticeable with him because, I mean, it's every game.
It's really interesting. I think that our midfielders tend to be very tentative and conservative. And I think that our forwards are they're so thirsty to do something when they finally get a ball that's been transitioned from the back to the midfield to them, which is so rare. Most of the time we have to do something extraordinary, like hit a long ball to get anyone a ball, that they're just so thirsty. They just dive in head first. And, so it's a mix of conservative and outrageous and hero ball.
And that takes me to a point we kind of brought up, but I'm going to bring it up here. Is I don't think Pulisic was involved enough. I mean, here we're looking at a team without Reina, without McKennie, and we're looking at somebody that's going to have to step up and take it. And the thing is, when he got the ball, he tried to do that. He tried to take the player on. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes he drew a foul, sometimes he created an opportunity, but. I don't think he was involved enough throughout the game. And I think Berhalter needs to start figuring out how you're going to get these creative type players more involved. And I think that's the killer right now is that we're possessing the ball through the midfield and the defense, but we don't do anything with our attack.
And so here we go. And that means we're talking about formation. If you want to do something different, sometimes you have to change things up. And so far it's either a 3-4-3 or some version of that, or a 4-3-3 or some version of that. And I'm just saying, why not look into this a little and see and kind of like, I just think sometimes, the old 4-2-2-1-1, the empty bucket you talk about. I do think that would work better. I'm willing to try a 4-2-3-1. Anything to change this up a little because we're just predictable. Everybody knows what to do to shut us down. And so the only way we're going to win is if we get a 1-0 win, a 1-0 win. And that was possible tonight, but then we screwed up and let them score.
Yep.
So then it wasn't a 1-0 win, but I don't see us getting any more than 1-0 wins as long as we continue to play and set up and tactically set up and play this predictable. I just don't see anything different happening.
Well, and then on top of that, the other thing I've noticed is that and Berhalter has been waiting way too fucking long on these subs. You tell the steam we're losing steam 60 minutes, 70 minutes in, and then we get scored on and it's 1-1. You just see us deflate. Pew. And then we wait for another 10 fucking minutes before he makes a sub, and all our subs have 10 minutes to go out there and try to create something last minute. It's frustrating. Instead of being on the attack with our subs, like it almost seems like he waited for Canada to make the first move, and he's like, "This is gonna be my 4D chess move. I'm going to counter what you do."
I think Canada used up all their subs by like the 75th, 76th minute.
Yeah,
all of them. And we had made one because of an injury to Dest.
Yeah.
And that's just, okay, that's just jackassery at this point. Everyone watching the game could tell that those guys were exhausted by the 70th minute, if not the 60th for some of them. You got to bring the subs in earlier. And
give them an opportunity. I mean, these 10-minute subs, 10-minute subs, they barely touched the ball. I mean, Sargent touched the ball more than Conrad and Roldan did. But I mean, Sargent also busted his ass up and down the pitch trying to get that ball. But it's just you give him such limited time to do anything, and so then it's hectic, rapid fire type of play, and it doesn't work out. Give the players a chance.
And how about this? How about not replace? Don't put in Roldan out wide. Don't do that. Put Sargent out wide and put Pepe in the middle. The guy's scoring goals like, he's shaking out a tic-tac box right now in MLS. Give him a shot. You got nothing to lose. Got nothing to lose throwing him in the middle and putting Josh out right, where Josh plays for Norwich.
I thought Conrad ended up coming out right. He came in for Aronson.
Well, where the fuck did Roldan go then?
Roldan went into the middle next to Leggett. So he can't. Did he take Acosta out? Or did he take Leggett out? He came into the middle. I know that he played on the right in the middle.
Yeah, he came in for Leggett. I'm not perfectly positive, but he did end up hanging out with Conrad a lot on the right. I don't mind bringing Conrad in, but you could actually have brought him in for Pulisic because Pulisic looked exhausted, and have Sargent on the right and put Pepe in the middle. I mean, a full out, balls out, new, fresh forward line for the last 20 minutes against an exhausted Canadian defense. Who knows?
I mean, with Sargent's balls to the wall, running up and down, his work ethic, Pepe in the middle, hopefully carrying over his goal scoring prowess that he's had in MLS this season. It's still too conservative, like for like subs. It's not really changing anything up, and the formation is key. And I honestly, I'm really, really hesitant on ever saying that we should ever play a 4-3-3 at this point, because I don't think we max out on that. Quite frankly, I think the 3 back line with our actual wing backs would probably be a more suitable position or formation for us.
Yeah, it didn't help that we lost McKennie because he snuck out for hot dogs at the midnight or something. It's either that or Twinkies. We're not sure, but he didn't follow the protocols. It's really disappointing because that doesn't sound like McKennie to me at all. He's a guy who wants to play every game, but I guess,
in fairness, though, he's had a couple of violations over the past year, especially with Juventus.
Yeah,
I can think of 2 other instances.
Don't say the C word.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, the beer bug.
Yeah. So I'll beep that out. He already had his Rona moment at Juventus. So why double up here? I don't know why he did it. I don't. And so the German phrase for the day is McKennie hat das Hotel verlassen, eine Chateau Twinkies zu holen. He left the hotel for a box of Twinkies, and he got caught coming back or something. We don't know the details, but that's my theory, and I'm going to stick with it. Or he had people come over and visit him in the hotel. We don't know the details, but we know he didn't follow the protocols, or the policy is the way they put it. And that hurt tonight because I think in a lot of ways, McKennie would have been a better difference maker than Leggett or Acosta. Honestly, I thought both of those guys played fine, but there was no that spark moment that McKennie can give you in the box, a header, a goal, and we lost it tonight.
Well, on top of that, you got to take into consideration for like the first half of the game, Canada really did just sit back. They let us possess and move the ball around, which is something El Salvador did not let us do. And I think that would have been a massive difference to have somebody like McKennie out there who would be more forward thinking, trying to get into the attack, move the ball forward, that type of player.
Anything else we need to cover tonight? For the general review, we're about to go into the player ratings here for the next segment, but no, I think we don't. So, hey, I just want to thank everybody who's listening to the show and liking and subscribing. It's been amazing. It's been a massive growth spurt in a short time. So I know you guys aren't happy tonight. A lot of you aren't going to be happy tonight, but the sky isn't falling yet. This isn't over yet. There's a long way to go. There are a lot of games to play. We could get on a hot streak. We could sweat out the next game too, Brett.
Again, we got to look at it like this. I mean, Canada is in third place right now with 2 points. We're in fourth place with 2 points. This is a wide open scenario. What's going to have to happen is our boys are going to have to wake up and figure out something. Berhalter is going to have to step it up, figure out what's not working and move it from there. And I think a lot of that's going to stem down to coming out with a different formation, changing it up, making us a little less predictable, and go from there.
But the problem is, Brett, we've only played 2 formations for years now with under Berhalter.
Well, in fairness, we've only really played 1 formation with an occasional random different formation.
Yes.
I think we've only played like 3 times with a 3-back. So the rest of the time has all been 4-3-3. So that's not unheard of for us to continue with the 4-3-3. I think we just need some different flavor.
You got to practice that to make it work at least a little. And remember when Klinsmann started 3 CBs and 2 wingers in one of the games we in the last qualifying for the last World Cup, and like we were down 2-0 and within like I don't know half an hour, and Jermaine Jones had to go over to Klinsmann to say, "Hey, dude, this fucking ain't working. We don't know how to play this. We've never practiced this before, and you threw us out here." You announced it the day of the game, and we've never practiced it, so we can't play this anymore. We're going to get killed. And then, of course, Klinsmann adjusted back to a 4-4-2 or whatever we adjusted to that day. So it is something you have to practice. Maybe they are practicing it, and I don't know it, Brett. But
I'd say that the couple times that they've played the 3-back line, I don't think it has been bad by any means. So again, it's something to consider. We've got 3 solid center back options, in my opinion. And that allows our wingbacks, who are pretty shoddy in 1v1 defending, despite the fact that I think Robinson did well today, 1v1 defending. I think that this gives our wingbacks an option to be able to go into the attack and not necessarily have to worry about covering back in the defense so much.
Yeah, I mean,
it does take somebody out of the midfield, most likely, because
it would have taken pressure off Dest today. I mean, he only lasted 20 minutes or so, but 40 minutes. But it would have taken some pressure off him having to cover Davies all fucking 40 minutes.
I thought he did okay with that too, actually.
No, he didn't do bad. He had one oopsie moment.
Yeah.
And it was a big one.
Thank goodness Davies didn't capitalize that. Good Lord.
Ooh, that could have led to a goal. And then we could be talking about a loss tonight. So, all right. So we'll be thankful for a point, I guess. Again, somebody said, well, after the last game versus El Salvador, all you got to do in this whole series of games here is like what we've always done. You hold serve at home and you get an occasional tie away. I'm like, no, that's not going to work. No, we need to make sure we qualify. And period.
Yeah, I know this segment has been going long and we're going to have to wrap it up here. But I've been talking with a number of people. There's no reason at this point. There's no reason we should be addressing away matches any differently than we address any home match.
Nope.
You take You take your formation, you take your way you play the game, and you force it upon everybody. There's no reason we should go chicken shitting it up on away matches, hoping to just pull out a point. Come on.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear this anymore. Like they're honking horns outside of your hotel room. Well, okay, get the hotel room on the 50th floor, and they won't
get some fucking earplugs. Listen to some music.
There's a solution to that problem. Oh, okay. So you're playing on a goat patch. Well, so are they. Just play better on a goat patch than they can play on a goat patch. I'm listen, we got talent now. This isn't about the talent at this point. This is about having
mentality,
solid mentality going forward and having a winning attitude, which, right now it's a little shaky. I think our confidence is a little shaky, and that's okay. We can fix that.
We'll bounce back.
And I know, as Lexi said, these players are carrying the sins of the last World Cup qualifying team. I thought that was a little heavy on his part. And yeah, in some way they are carrying those sins. There are a lot of casual fans who look at this team and go, oh God, these guys are worse than Dempsey. And these guys are, well, listen, Dempsey was a great player, but I mean, comparing to Pulisic's got way more talent than Dempsey, but Dempsey had a rock solid mentality. So, I mean, right now we're talking about mentality, and I'm not saying Pulisic is weak or, weak mentally or anything, but he's not where Dempsey was at when he was leading our team.
I honestly felt like whenever Dempsey took the pitch, that his mentality was, I'm coming away with 3 points here.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Pulisic doesn't feel that way either. But Dempsey was like, it was just an approach, as a mentality, and it was a bit of swagger behind it. It's like, you know what, I'm leaving it all on the pitch, and we're coming away with 3 points, guaranteed. End of story.
It's just the difference between players who are very mature and compared to what we have now, which is an extremely young team. They're going to have to mature. They're going to have to grow through this process. And that sounds like a bunch of bullshit, but you know what? They're all learning on the job right now. Let's be frank, except for the handful of guys who've been through this before, which ain't a lot of them. You got Brooks, but I'm not going to go through all of them. Yeah, you know who they are.
Yeah.
But it's a young team. Okay, we're going to move on to segment 2, where we're going to do our player ratings. Until the next time on Straight Red Card, I don't know, drink a little tonight so you can get some sleep. All right.